Wow, this was absolutely bizarre. Just when you think it can't get any crazier with Johnny, it does. I mean, they sent a chopper out to look for him in Texas. So that was very, very strange. And, they did it because the ex-girlfriend who, we're not sure, but I'm assuming that this is probably Colleen Crowley, but we're not 100% sure. She hasn't been named yet in any of the statements or police reports. But supposedly, after there was some concern that there was an assault that took place, then she was worried about him.
Mm-hmm.
And so therefore they went by land and by air to try to find him. And eventually they found him and he was safe and sound, but now he is still under investigation by the Fort Worth police and the Dallas police for this possible assault against the ex-girlfriend.
Have the Browns said anything regarding this situation yet?
No, they haven't. They have said no comment at this time. And the other thing is that no one from Johnny's camp will speak out, will come out and speak on his behalf. No one is saying anything. I've tried to get a hold of his agent, his publicist, his lawyer, family members, and nobody really wants to speak on Johnny's behalf. And I just don't think that's a good strategy whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
Someone needs to come out and tell people kind of what's going on, what's being done. Someone needs to say, hey, you know what? Johnny's going through some things right now, and we're trying to help him get a handle on those things. Somebody needs to speak up on his behalf.
Mary Kay, this is answer this however you want, whatever you're comfortable with. I certainly don't want to put you in a bad spot here, but I am curious how you answer this. When the picture emerged a while ago of him in the bathroom with a rolled up dollar bill, let's face it, Tiki and I both strongly surmised that, when he went to rehab, it was less about the booze and more about hard drugs. That was our opinion. I don't know what you know on the record or off the record. I bring this up because the fact that he's still out there throwing back shots and drinking in public and not caring, it's almost like in his mind, it's okay to drink, which leads me back to our original theory that it probably was for hard drugs. Does that make any sense?
Well, you know what? I can't, obviously you, as you might know, I mean, I know and I hear a lot more than I can write. And I, unless I'm able to write it, then I'm probably not going to say it.
Mm-hmm.
So I will just say this. I do believe that Johnny came out of the rehab center feeling like he could have some drinks. Like that wasn't going to take him down the rabbit hole again.
Mm-hmm.
But it has, in my opinion. In my opinion, I have watched the downward spiral on October, and I had been hearing things for long before the October 13th incident. But during that incident, when he admitted to day drinking and he got in a roadway argument with Colleen Crowley on that day, I came out very strongly with a column saying, he needs help. He needs to go back to rehab. The Browns cannot count on him either on the field or off the field, and they need to move on. So, and I took a lot of grief.
What, people disagreed with your assertion? Really?
Oh, yes.
Wow.
Yes. Well, Johnny has a very strong cult following both locally,
Mm-hmm.
nationally, for sure in Texas. And I took a lot of grief, including by, one of my actual own colleagues. I mean, it was just a weird thing.
Wow.
I took a lot of grief for what I said from the Browns. They felt that I was inappropriate with what I said and wrote. But you know what? I believed it. I firmly believed it back
Mm-hmm.
then. And it's absolutely, in my mind, true. That he needed help back then. He needed help long before then. That we've all let this go on too long. I felt like I needed to take a stand then and let people know what I thought needed to happen.
Sure.
I don't think people in his life are responding quickly enough to the help that he needs. Now, you can't always grab a 23-year-old and by the scruff of the neck and get him the help that he needs.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like he's alienated some of his old friends. I don't know that his family has been able to really get through to him. But there needs to be some kind of a strong intervention. And for me to watch him since the day he left this team in January, here we are on January 19th, and there's been almost 3 more weeks of just insanity out there. At this time last year, he had checked himself into rehab. I thought it would have happened again by now.
Wow.
And it hasn't. So I don't know what's going on out there. But the people in his life need to gather together
Mm-hmm.
and do an intervention and get him the help that he needs before somebody gets hurt.
Not only did we read the column, we referenced it, and we both thought he was spot on. Talking to Mary Kay Cabot, of course, Browns reporter, Cleveland Plain Dealer. More messy stuff with Johnny.
Yeah, Hugh Jackson obviously is the new head coach, and this is really his first chance. He had the job in Oakland for a year, but that is what it is. This is his first chance to put himself on the map as a head coach, and we love Hugh and what he can potentially bring. He doesn't need this headache. What is the responsibility of the Browns to their team? I mean, because it's a distraction. We haven't even got to the Super Bowl yet.
Well, again, I think everyone has been slow to react to the downward spiral of Johnny Manziel. It was happening a lot sooner than anyone in his life seemed to have been willing to admit. It was very evident. It was very obvious. I don't think the Browns reacted quickly enough to it at all. I don't think anybody did. I think everybody Johnny is very smooth when it comes to, he's got an enormous amount of charisma, which is why he has the following that he does. He can talk himself out of things. He can look you in the eye and tell you that he's absolutely fine. He could be outraged at you for writing that perhaps he's not fine, and almost make you feel like you are overstepping your bounds at times.
Mm-hmm.
So he's very good at this. He's really, really good at just kind of conning his way through some of this stuff. And, I just don't think that, the Browns definitely don't need this. Hugh Jackson doesn't need this. More so than anything, I think the Browns probably still thought that maybe they could either get something out of Johnny as a player or get something for him in terms of a trade. But right now, there's nobody in their right mind that should trade for Johnny Manziel. There's no way that a team should do that. He needs help, and he needs to go get it. And after he gets himself together, then people can start thinking about whether or not he can make it in this league.
It's an outstanding spot. Really, really strong. Really good. Mary Kay Cabot, as always, bringing it. Thank you very much, Mary Kay. Have a good way. We're going to be in the Super Bowl or out there, so I don't know if you'll be there, but if you are, certainly stop by and say hi.
I will do that.
Yep, you will.
You got it. That was really good. Yeah. Mary Kay Cabot, Cleveland Plain Dealer.
Mary Kay will be out there because she is a Hall of Fame voter.
Oh, that's right. What am I saying? I knew
she's
that.
certainly out there. She got some big decisions to make in the next few days.